What's up, guys? Welcome back. Here we are at week 3 of 12 of the cycle that's leading us into the Vaughn Weightlifting Open that's going to be held in Belton, Texas on September 2nd, potentially the 3rd as well. If you're in the area, hopefully, once again, you guys can make it to that. If not, of course, continue using the program for whatever competition or whatever test date that you want it for. But week 3 of 12, a couple of announcements before we get into the specifics of this week's program, and got a good number of things to go over here. But one of the things I want you guys to look out for, all of you guys on the program, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on transitioning the program to be delivered through an app, a program called Fitbot. Some of you guys may or may not be, some of you guys may be familiar with that, but Fitbot is an app that you can get on your phone, so you can, go to that to see your program. We'll set it up to where you can see the whole week ahead of time, just like you can on the website. Also, you'll be getting the program emailed to you every day as well through that program. So once that's all transitioned over, you won't need to log into the website anymore. Don't worry too much about it. We'll get you that information as we go, and that kind of thing. Also, one of the things that we are just opening up more of, we do offer video review. We have in the past, and we have some athletes that we work with on that. But we're able to open up more spots now. We're really excited about that. Any of you guys interested in that, shoot me an email, shoot me a message. But you can get me at Vaughn_Chad at hotmail.com. That's VAUGHN_CHAD at hotmail.com. Yes, I have an old Hotmail account. Don't judge me on that, please. But we definitely are looking forward to working with more of you guys, hopefully, more of you guys through video review. We know that we can do a little bit more for you and help you through the program a little bit better. And so we're excited that we have the ability to now open up more spots in that regard. Onto the program now. Um, I know that a lot of you guys around here, or a lot of the guys around here that are on the program, the guys and girls, are really enjoying the squat program. I don't know if enjoying is the right word, but I know that you're putting a lot of work in, a lot of reps in, and I know these first couple weeks have been pretty difficult, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So the squats are going to continue as they are. You're going to continue back squatting and front squatting on the same day for a while, and we're going to continue pushing those up through about week 7, just to be aware of that, up through about week 7, and then finally we'll have a little bit of a back off from that. The numbers will continue to change. We'll continue to play with those numbers and those percentages, so you will have different stuff going on. But as far as some of the other exercises, the snatch and clean and jerk work, and the partial movements that we have in there, hang in there one more week through this week 3 of 12, and we'll have a slight back off in that regard on week 4, which will be um, next week. All right. Back to the squats just a little bit. Some recommended timing on that is try to do a set on the back squats every 4 to 5 minutes or so. Typically, that works out pretty well. One thing that does is it keeps you from not resting enough and the reps adding up and making it a little bit harder, and you getting a little bit less out of the program. I want you to be recovered a certain amount to be able to put more effort and to get a little more quality out of each squat rep that you can. And also it allows you not to rest too long and to go ahead and get the work done and get through the program. Now once you get to the front squats, you can move a little bit quicker. I recommend one set every 2 to 3 minutes on that, and if you can get that time down to every 2 minutes and just get those done, because the weights are a little bit lighter, that's a good thing. So they're lighter squats. Don't get me wrong, they're difficult, they're hard, especially after all the back squats, but we can get through those and get those quicker, lighter reps in and help flush out those legs. One thing that you guys can do that's not necessarily indicated in the program is add straps to one or two or all sets of those front squats, just to keep on top of your front rack mobility. That's something that I personally do. I do 3 sets of the front squats with straps, and then the last set I take them off, and my front rack feels significantly better than it would especially if you struggle with front rack mobility. Hopefully, you guys are aware of how much benefit there is in using those straps at least for a couple sets. On these powers, we have the power snatches from the high hang. For now, we also have the power cleans from the blocks, setting below the knee ideally. The percentages are getting up there. Keep in mind those percentages should be taken off your power snatch or power clean and not your squat snatch and squat clean. But those percentages are still getting high, especially for sets of 5. So if you need to break up those sets a little bit for quality purposes, then that's not a bad thing. Just get them in as quickly as you can with the quality being maintained. One quality standard that I like to see is obviously it being a power snatch or power clean, but also those feet not jumping out any wider than inside of your foot to the outside of the shoulder. Any wider than that, then separate the set out a little bit more, get a little bit more rest, or even take the weight down a little bit if you need to. So right now we're just accumulating good reps. That's what we want. That's more important than the weight. If you can keep that weight on there by separating the sets out a little bit, then that's what we'll do. All right. So this week, for the first week of this 12-week cycle, week 3, you're going to see the auxiliary kind of being snuck back in there. So it's in there as extra credit. Ideally, I want you guys to try to get that in if you have time. If not, it's not a huge deal, but we're trying to sneak it back in there. And starting next week in week 4, I'll start easing some back in that's an actual part of the program and not indicated as extra credit. So I want you to be able to get some of that other work back into, those other movements that we do, the auxiliary movements, the push-ups, the ring rows, uh, the core work, whatever that is, to help you just be a more complete athlete and get more out of the program. One exercise that's tends to be pretty difficult for a lot of people, as you know, is behind the neck power jerks. So once again, those percentages are increasing up. They're raising up. Make sure that you're using good working weight for yourself. I have percentages on there that are a good fit for most people, but if you need to back those percentages down, if your mobility isn't there, or if your strength from behind the neck isn't there at those indicated percentages, don't be afraid to knock that back down a little bit. Let's get some good reps in. Let's replace that exercise with overhead mobility as an ultimate modification if we need to. Again, we want quality over quantity of weight, and this behind the neck power jerk is in there, yes, to help you develop power and to help you learn the Olympic lifts more as a whole, but also for mobility, and it's mobility first. All right. The presses, for example, I want to use that as an example of the percentage, the weights that you're taking your percentages off of need to be very current. And I've seen this. The press is a pretty good example of this from a couple of athletes recently. They weren't really sure where their press was because it's been a while, had been a while since they maxed in the press. And so they're finding that they're not able to complete all those reps at those indicated percentages. So you need to be conservative there, or hopefully through these first couple weeks you found a weight that you can take those percentages off of. But try to be realistic and try to be as current as you can, not only on the press but all these exercises, the squats obviously as well. And again, you'll get much more out of the program, and we'll be able to take you through and get you, um, you know, hopefully ultimately above and beyond where you've been before. Last exercise that we're going to talk about, the snatch deadlift from the block. Those indicated percentages that are on there are going to be probably seemingly pretty light for you guys, but I want you to make sure that you're paying attention to what is written there. We have a 10-second hold in the standing position on the last rep per each set, and that's what we want. We want you moving through those reps with those indicated percentages um, with not much difficulty. Just make sure that you're moving well. Obviously, you have a weight that you should be able to handle and move correctly, so we want the bar to be brushing up the quad on the way up and on the way down. But also very important, once you finding that relaxed standing position, that straight standing position. And I say relaxed. It may not be relaxed for you. You may have to force that straight position by squeezing your butt, for example, crunching your abs down or pulling your ribs down and getting that straight body position with the shoulders and arms relaxed. Again, you can definitely use straps there. We want you using straps there so you can focus on the movement and the position. but that 10-second standing position is going to be something that will benefit you um, in so many ways, and we want you to find that correct position. So again, just make sure that you're paying attention to that. All right, guys. I know that's a decent amount of information there, but want you to have that information that we're going to be moving forward with Fitbot, and then finishing out this week, so we can move into week 4, where you're going to have again a little bit of a back off overall in the Olympic lift specifically. So we'll see you next week.